Assalamu alaikum, my friends. What an amazing Ramadan so far, right? What an amazing, introspective, very, very close Ramadan. Close to what? Close to the divine, close to the inner you. That's what Ramadan's about, right? But I had a thought about the physical worship. The fact that what is worship? Worship is when you are in the remembrance of the divine, of that force that has created you. When you're in that remembrance and you are cultivating that remembrance into greater remembrance so it can affect your reality. And your physical body is a vessel to witness the blessings, the abundance of the divine in terms of joy, pleasure, satisfaction, all these nafs attachments that when you pursue your life into not life of the dunya, not life of being the person that you think you want to be and being successful and all these little titles that we attach onto. I'm talking about when you are in the light of the divine and you operate in that light, then the shadow that's cast from that light is your reality. And is that shadow going to be negative? Is that shadow going to be amazing? Or is it going to be chaos? So that's the thing. Your body is the temple. See, the masjid is right here. The masjid is empty, right? No one's going in the masjid anymore. That is not the real temple. That is not the real masjid. The real masjid is you. You are the actual masjid. See this parking lot here? This is the parking lot where the overflow would come from there. It's a really small parking lot in there, and all the overflow in Ramadan would get packed here. And the first day of Ramadan was a Friday night, and this place would have been packed like all the way around. It's a big park, and it's empty. It's sitting totally empty. No one even going inside. What does that mean? You have to analyze the meaning in your life. Okay? When you understand what your body is and what it reflects, then you get a greater love. You get a love of Allah that can't be found through finding solace in material things, finding solace through other people. I'm talking about going straight to the source. And your body is that vessel. Your foundation, the foundation is the body. And people in Ramadan talk about, in the past Ramadans, they're like, oh, don't focus on health. Just focus on ibadah, focus on prayer, and that's it. No, you focus on everything, not just one thing. Because one thing isn't spirituality. It's everything. So you focus on your physical health. So you intake that water. People want to lose weight in Ramadan. That's a fine goal too. I'm saying is all that can be the byproduct when you really harness that Allah energy within yourself. Okay, that becomes the byproduct. So what am I saying? We complicate things like weight loss a lot. I did in the past, and literally it is about your water. I just went to Sprouts and got some water and got some vegetables and a treat for myself, which is stevia soda, which has, it's right here if you can see it. It's a soda can. It's stevia soda, and the sugar is from the plant. It's a plant sugar that basically psychologically tastes like sugar, but it does not cause insulin to rise. It doesn't have any biological effects. It just literally tricks your nafs into thinking it's sweet. Now, if you're drinking that while, it's fake, it's just tricking me, you're not going to be satisfied. But when you just drink it and you enjoy the soda and you enjoy the taste of it and it's natural, then basically your nafs almost forgets that it's being tricked, and you get satisfied, and it doesn't harm you. See, and it's a treat. So you're supposed to do that to your nafs, trick it. You know, and Ramadan's an awesome time period where you can get that foundation of your health right for the rest of the year. Not only will it benefit you in Ramadan itself by drinking more water, simply by drinking more water and drinking and eating less salty, you know, less processed foods, less greasy foods, and eat more alive foods with enzymes, you know, salads, eat more fresh fruits and vegetables for suhoor and iftar. Okay, for iftar, you know, don't munch on those fried foods. Like literally, eat more alive foods. Use a wok, stir fry your vegetables. Don't bake them and boil them. You know, and don't just eat meat. You're doing the same thing over and over again. You're going to get the same results over and over again. That's why you can't get to the next level in your Ramadans. 50 Ramadans maybe you had, 30, 40 Ramadans you had maybe. And every year it's the same story. And it's like you have to get this diet plan in order. No. Literally just increase your water and drink your water with programming that water, thinking about how amazing the water is. When you're fasting and you drink that water and you eat that date, it's like your blood vessels open up, and it's not opening up by itself, it's opening up by its energy, right? And when you input your own you know, higher energies and thoughts and basically thought currents into that water while you're drinking it, it's going to affect your body in a spiritual way, a way that science can't really tell the nafs about. Yet you are waiting for science to kind of justify all these things. It cannot. Science is literally, the science is what? Science of the dunya. It's the science of the illusion. To get to it's science of the effect realm. And yes, science talks about quantum physics and light particles and atoms and nucleus and all that, but it doesn't have an answer for the structure. What gives it structure? What gives it consciousness? See, that's what science can't talk about. That's where spirituality is. Spirituality and science are one. It's like the nafs and the soul. Okay? We can utilize science. And we know the science of water. We know the science of our body. Our body is 78% water. So doesn't it behoove you to intake fresh water as a foundation, and then put in alive enzymes and vegetables and fruits in your body that builds your body? You are what you eat, right? You are what you think. You are who you hang out with. You are your friends. You are your company you keep. All that stuff. That's you. But it all starts with your foundation of water. Get your foundation right. Okay? And your health in this Ramadan. And as you work on your foundation, it's like it's not like you don't work on the rest of your spirituality. No, you work on the rest of it. But it's like the rest of it becomes easier because your foundation is becoming more purified. And that's your water. Simply intake your water. You're going to get less bloated. Okay, drink a cup of water after you when you break your fast, and don't just start eating. You know, really drink, hydrate yourself, and then have some roughage, vegetables, fruits, and you'll feel a lot better. Okay? And that's what I want to talk about real quick. Increase your water. It's as simple as that. Okay, everyone? Yes, our masjids are closed. But guess what? If you're attached to that masjid as your Islam, then you're going to be sad. And you're going to do things in that sadness. And in that thing, oh my God, it's so Ramadan, this Ramadan is so different, and I miss this and that. But be grateful for what you do have. You have opportunity to really transform yourself and really take your spirituality to the next level and raise it above the material aspect of your life. And when you do that, yes, the material aspect does crumble. The ratchet part that you're holding on to, that crumbles. Because to work on your foundation, You have to tear your old foundation down. And that is what the ego, the nafs, doesn't want you to do. Because it's attached to that image. It's attached to the physical illusion. It's attached to the it's attached to the reflection that it sees in the mirror, because it thinks it's it. It is not. The reflection is just a reflection. And if you're in a fear state of mind, then your reflection will reflect that. And your reflection, if it doesn't understand these concepts, metaphysical concepts and spiritual concepts about the dunya, things that we haven't been taught in the masjids and through the imams and stuff, because the system is such that it only talks to the masses. It talks to a group of 1,000 people. You think it's gonna talk to everyone at a high level? No, it's gonna talk to the basic, the medium average of the person's consciousness. That's who it talks to. And anything above that, people are gonna get upset. Literally. And now it's like we have this platform like YouTube and Instagram and things like this to speak your mind, to speak your energy. I can't talk about this at the masjid. I have before, and I got literally blackballed, almost kicked out. Not physically kicked out, because I know that I'm standing on my square, on my divine right, on what the rights Allah has given me. I'm standing on that. I'm not scared about anybody else. So they didn't kick me out because I wasn't doing anything wrong, you know. But the thing is, people started avoiding me because I was asking questions like this. And had I gotten scared about people avoiding me and not, you know, talking to me, then I would never have personally gone closer to Allah, because I would be still in that herd mentality, in that group think mentality. And yes, there is safety in the group, but there's safety, then you venture off. It's like every time you go to a plateau, you rest, and you get that structure, you get that binding for your broken arms. You get that from religion. You get the binding, you know, and then you go up higher in the mountain, and then you might get scraped again. You go get another binding, and as you go higher and higher, the bind, you have less broken bones, as in like your bones, you're past the structure stage. And now it's like you get little cuts and scratches, and you can handle it yourself. You know, and then you go down to when you go to the groups, you become that source of light. You become that source of energy for other people. It starts with your foundation. If your foundation is weak and not aligned to the truth, to the reality of dunya, and understanding the realms, and understanding Allah and the energy of Allah and what is Allah, 99 names, you know, how do you access those names? And when do you access certain names? Through yourself. The specific names you can access, their vibrations, their tones, they're almost like energy pockets that you can tap into. But to tap into it, you have to let go of guilt, anger, you know, attachment, fear, regret. Doesn't mean you live your life in chaos. I'm saying is that you don't live the life you think you need to live because it's been explained to you that's how you're supposed to live. I'm talking about you live it in the light of Allah, and Allah carries you. The dunya opens up for you. The dunya is created for you, period. The world was created for you. And actually, hey, what's going on, everyone? Robert and Yusuf, thanks for joining me. I just wanted to talk about this really important thing real quick about health and really your physical health, getting you closer to the divine, and how in our culture, in our society, we don't give too much attention to the fact that our body is a portal. Our body is something that when you purify it mentally, as in you don't consume the fear, you consume higher energies, you breathe in the energy, you invoke the names of Allah, you invoke higher thoughts, you invoke your joys, you know, what you love doing. You invoke that within you, and you eat, and you replenish the body in a higher state of being, and you understand the concept of the body and how it works and how the organism works and what your liver does and what your kidneys do and what your pancreas does and what your gallbladder does and what your small intestine does and what your large intestine does and what your lungs, how they work. You don't have to be a doctor for this stuff. This is your body. You learn it. No one's stopping you from doing research about your own body. How does your brain work? How do hormones get produced? You know that it's from your gut? How does the immune system work? It's all your gut. It's all what you eat. Your immune system, the immunity comes from 80% comes from your gut. It doesn't come from your brain. But for the mind to be in a certain space, it has to eat certain foods in a conscious way. The more conscious you are, the more you're living consciously. Conscious of what? Conscious of Allah? Yes, of course, we heard that all our life. Conscious of God consciousness. But there's nothing but Allah. There's nothing but that divine. When you're in that consciousness, then you understand that everything has dimensions and layers, and it's all reflected from your state of being and how you think of the divine. If you think the divine is punishing and you all you concentrate on the chapters of hell and the fire and punishment, then you're going to be in that. You're going to be in the fear part of the divine, and you're going to be fearing, cutting somebody off, and you're going to need laws to tell you how to operate, because a young child needs binding. It needs laws to keep them in check. But as they get older, it's like they mold to that certain aspects. Okay, and sometimes we hold on to limited beliefs, and for a long time we've held on to the limited belief that we don't have control over life, that life happens to you, and life affects you, and life happens to you. No, life happens for you. Life is for you. You alone. Don't worry about anybody else. It's for you. When you make your life, when you live your life like that, then your byproduct is always going to be at a higher frequency and at a higher light. It's not going to be in the shadows. Okay, I just wanted to say that real quick. I got to get going. But enjoy the rest of your day. And if you're fasting, just really, in your downtime, do research about the body and how it works. That's worship too. That's worship also. 100%, that is worshiping the divine. By understanding the body, that's a form of worship. Understand it so you can feed it better. And when you feed it better, you feel in a better state. And when in that better feeling state, you could be in a more aligned space with that divine that flows through you. Okay, so thank you and have a amazing day. And get outside and breathe that air. Look, social distancing, it's not a law, but guess what? Do you think I can be 6 feet around people here? Yes. The next person's maybe 100 feet from me when this place is even crowded. So you go to your parks and you breathe that air. Breathe in that air and learn about the lungs and how the capillaries intake, the panic anxiety have consumed me for months. Yeah, man. Because it needs to be consumed. It is a product. That's what it is. It's a product. And you have to consume it. And it's consumed through your consciousness. You eat panic. You watch panic. So panic is what? Panic is a sense of no control. A sense of chaos. The change happening. It's too much. Right? So what you do is you just let it go. You let go and you start consuming things that aren't those things that you were consuming before. So don't watch the news. Don't get caught up in the political discussions about Trump and the Democrats and, the economy is going to break and this and that. and the world is crashing. The world is the illusion itself. It has to crash. Even if you're Christian or you're Muslim, it has to go away. But you don't have to suffer. You can be on the other end of that. We think it's suffering. It's not. It's suffering if you are in the space, if you look at it as suffering and look at other people suffering and you panic about that and you get anxious about that, and then you just, from that state of being, you eat without consciousness, then yes, you're gonna build from that suffering, from that anxiety, from that panic, because you're consuming it. When you stop consuming it, there's going to be a time period where your body is going to be like, no, I need that. It needs to see what the news is because it feels bad. It needs to know what's going on. But that's a trick itself. It's a trick. Instead, consume things that give you energy, like learning about your body, learning about, spirituality and the different systems that maybe you didn't, you had no interest in going into. Learn something different. Be amazed. Be amazed about life. Tap into your childlike imagination. And imagine when you were young, you thought about, you would be traveling this and that and you'd be happy. That is still a reality. It's just a reality that has been covered up by fear and anxiety and all these other habits. What you do is you tap into that imagination and you set your foundation right, and that reality will manifest in ways that you can never, the ego, the physical reality, the physical illusionary part of you, the reflection can never do it. Only the causality realm, from the causality realm, you can cause the effect, which is this reality. That's how I live my life. I live my life as it's for me. It's opening up to me. As I stay on this path more and more, the world is opening up its insides to me. It's giving its jewels to me. It's giving its energy to me. Literally. Things are happening where it's like, wow, I wanted this. I wanted a new phone. I talked about this. I wanted a new phone, and not because my phone sucks, and but the thing was, I was appreciating my old phone, which is, this is my phone. This is my main phone. I talk, and no worries, just call when you're on. Yeah, see, and the person the company I work for now, they gave me new phones, and they gave me a tablet. They gave me all these things, but it's almost like that company, the divine created it for me to bring it into my reality. It fits in perfectly. I can literally be at the park and work. It's not work. It's part of my lifestyle. See, when you live that kind of life and you make those challenging, the challenging part is shifting, is letting go of the old, the anxiety, the panic, letting go of the things you consumed for most of your life. Because the things you consumed have made you into the person you are now. So reasoning goes that you stop consuming those things and replace them with something else. Okay, and then the more you know about the body, the more you know about metaphysics, the more you know about energy, the more you know about the divine, the more you know about the different aspects that have been taught to us in all the spiritual systems of the world. And the more you go inside, the more you go esoteric, the more you go within whatever spiritual system you have, the more you go within, it gets darker and darker. But the fear is the fear of that darkness, fear of the unknown. You can't have that fear, because that fear itself is stopping you from becoming that version of yourself. Okay, so keep that in mind. Simply start drinking more water, because when you fill up yourself with water, then you have less room to fill it up with the other stuff. And then when you fill up your stomach with fresh vegetables, you have less room to fill it up with, all these other things. And when you fill it up with fruits and vegetables as your sweets, you have less room to fill it up with all these other processed sweets. Okay? So that's it for right now. I gotta get going, and have a blessed, amazing day. Okay? Assalamu alaikum, and comment. And I look forward to speaking more, and I really appreciate you giving me your time and energy for me to say these things. And it's not by accident. You're not watching this because of luck. You know, quit thinking like that. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. Everything is manifested by the divine for you. Literally, I haven't seen you. I don't see you. All you see is a bunch of, you know, scientifically speaking, I'm just talking to myself. You know, like literally, you don't know if I even exist. I'm just a program. I can be CGI for all you know. But you're watching me because your higher self has put this in front of you for you to get these seeds and plant them in your own self. Okay? Literally, it's like that. Remember, the world is not against you. You know, the world is not happening to you. It's happening for you. The dunya is happening for you. It is for you. This is your hell, or this is your paradise. Literally. It's your hell or your paradise. You can live it like you're living in hell, and you're going to get the results of that. Or you can live it like you're living in paradise. If you were living in paradise right now, would you be littering? Would you be yelling at your neighbors? Would you be, you know, doing these things that keep your vibration down? No. In paradise, you'd be eating grapes. You'd be running around in the field. You'd be enjoying your joy. You'd be manifesting your true inner desires and passions. And that could be anything. It could be, you could love numbers. You could be an amazing accountant. You could be the accountant that thinks of certain concepts, you know? Anything. Everybody has a joy, and that joy brings you energy. Energy is money, frequency. Money is just a representation of your energy. When you work on your joy, that energy will have to flow through you. It's going to find you. Like it found me. I know it found me because I raised my vibration to the level of that energy, and it just fit in like it was created for me. I just had to become that person. It all starts with your foundation, your body, your mental health, your physical health. Okay, Assalamu alaikum.